Hypnotherapy might seem a little spooky. Perhaps it conjures up images of people on stage making complete fools of themselves. Or perhaps it makes you think of confessing your deepest secrets when you really didn't want to mention them at all. But despite all the mystery surrounding hypnotherapy, what you may not know is that it is becoming an increasingly popular and often very successful form of therapy. Today we're here to talk to Sue Leach, a New Zealand registered hypnotherapist, about the ins and outs of hypnotherapy. Come through with us now. Now, so you would have a range of different people coming to you with various problems or issues that they want to resolve through hypnotherapy. What might hypnotherapy be used to treat?
Hypnotherapy can be used to treat most anxiety-based issues. So we're looking at fears, phobias, anxieties, stresses, lack of confidence, low self-esteem, and even IBS, and maybe be helpful for OCD.
Now, there are a lot of myths and I suppose concerns regarding what happens to somebody while they're being hypnotised. What actually goes on for the person who's being hypnotised?
Well, they relax to the point where they're so comfortable that they really don't want to move, and that just allows the mind time to go and sift and sort through some things. So with the added benefit of focusing on resolving and removing some things that may have been causing problems.
So do people fall asleep or is it more of a trance kind of state?
It is a trance kind of a state because it's an alpha brainwave pattern state. So basically during the course of any day, most of us would go into an altered state anyway. When you're watching a television program and all of a sudden the program's finished and you can't really remember what's happened in that program. So you would have been off daydreaming. So it's similar to a daydreaming sort of a state. It's just that in a therapy situation, we're utilising that.
So can you explain to us in layman's terms, basically how hypnotherapy works?
Okay, it works by using our senses. Our imaginations are the most powerful tool that we've got, so we utilise that. We can imagine ourselves in any situation. And the more we imagine ourselves in a certain situation, the more likelihood of that situation happening. So, the way that we imagine it. So, if we imagine that we are going to be, let's say, standing up in front of a room full of people and giving a speech, and we imagine ourselves striding out there and being really calm, comfortable and relaxed and just giving the speech. Once we imagine that 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 times, by the time we actually get to that speech that we're going to make, that we will have just done it so many times that we will automatically, when we step out onto there, breathe ourselves into being calm, confident, relaxed, and the speech will go beautifully well. So what unfortunately happens, or fortunate really if you look at it from a protection survival sort of way, is that we have our autonomous nervous system, which is our subconscious mind, which helps to protect us in situations where survival. So if we're in a situation where we've learned to become a little bit nervous or a little bit edgy, then the next time we're in that situation we go, oh, we must be a little bit nervous, a little bit edgy. So by the time we're in the same situation sort of 4 or 5 times, that nervousness and edginess gradually becomes anxiety and then gradually becomes bigger and bigger and more acute. So this is how fears and phobias come about. So we can go back to that time, and we can change what happened in our imaginations at that time, and we can give that younger us some confidence or some calmness or the ability to go to the spider, which gives us control, and that then gradually logs itself into our neurology, so that today when that person then goes out and sees a spider, goes, oh look, there's a spider. And away you go. So it works incredibly well for fears and phobias.
Obviously,
these fears, phobias or other issues that we're talking about are things that people might have carried with them for a lifetime, or for years and years. So how many therapy sessions do people really need usually to overcome their fears and phobias?
Generally just two or three sessions to do generalised anxieties, fears and stresses. If it's for weight management, then 4 or 5 sessions I generally use.
And so the last question I have for you today is just, I suppose, a little bit around the myths of hypnotherapy or hypnotism. And is it dangerous? Can you get stuck in a trance? Believe it or not, people do worry about that.
Absolutely not. You can't get stuck in a trance, just as you can't get stuck in sleep. When you're asleep, your body gets rested and then it wakes up. Exactly the same in a hypnotic trance is once the body resolves whatever it is that needs resolving. And yes, sometimes people do fall asleep, especially when we're doing hypnosis for insomnia. So it can be a real energy boost, and this is where a lot of people who practice self-hypnosis, and I teach all my clients self-hypnosis, is to give yourself a power boost, a shot of energy during the day, just by maybe releasing some amazing endorphins, flooding them through your system so that you can get on and get out. Yeah, so absolutely cannot get stuck.
Sounds fantastic. It sounds like something we could all benefit from. Thank you so much for your time, Sue. Really appreciate it, and I've learned a lot about hypnotherapy.
Thank you.